cool. So you're adopted?
Yeah, and I'm actually going to Seoul in 6 hours to find my birth parents.
That's great.
Yeah, nerve-wracking. I mean, I feel like my whole life has led up to this point.
Hi, I'm J Cong, and I wrote the Falling for Angels episode, Koreatown. The inspiration came in pieces, actually, and the largest part was the ethnic enclave I would pick in Los Angeles, because there's so many Asian ones, but for me, Koreatown is the most cinematic because it's got that beautiful Art Deco architecture, it's a 24-hour city, and I wanted to see a date that lasted throughout the entire night in Koreatown. So once that was in place, I knew the next step was to write something that would be easy to produce because we only had 2 days to shoot it. I was like, let's do a two-hander walk and talk in the style of Andrew Haid, Nicole Holofcener, Richard Linklater. And then after that, I wanted to find out who the characters were. But of course they'd be Asian. And that's when the episode crystallized for me because I want to see an episode about 2 Asian Americans walking and talking in Koreatown, talking about identity. I'd never seen that before on television or in film. And I was excited about it. And so that's what led me to write the story.
That was fun, even with all the Asians.
You say the most offensive things, but I don't know if you're joking.
Okay, I don't avoid Asian company, I just don't actively seek it out.
And so I guess the next step is, what's the story? So I called my Korean adoptee friend, Kevin Burrell, who co-chairs the Asian American Committee at the Directors Guild with me, and we went out to dinner in Koreatown, just like they do in the show, and we talked about being Asian men finding love in Los Angeles. And that conversation that night is basically what you see on the screen in the episode.
It's weird. I mean, I'm not used to hanging out with so many Asians. I mean, I went to Chinese Baptist church when I was a kid and all that, but as an adult, I'm just not used to it.
You didn't think I was gonna be Asian?
Well, that's what happens when you refuse to send a face pic.
The characters in the episode confront their own internalized racism. And in writing the episode, I confronted my own. We have so much baggage as Asian Americans about assimilation and dating our own, and it opened my mind just writing the episode and seeing the world and dating in Los Angeles through these characters' eyes.
You rejected me as soon as you saw my Korean face, but I get it. You're a self-loathing Taiwanese American that isn't attracted to other Asians.
I loved casting the show because I got a chance to represent Asians in Asian America. I had 2 criteria. The first is that the ethnicity of the actors matched the ethnicity of the show. And the second was that the actors be hot. So check and check.
What up?
I'm Kevin.
Gino.
I want to talk about Tyler Chen, who plays the character of Kevin Kuo, who's based on me. Ty, like the character, is Chinese American, and he's also gay, which is great. One thing you might not know about Ty is that he's really attractive. In the episode, he's sort of buttoned up because that's his character, but if you go to his Instagram, you can see lots of pictures of him. You can follow him. He'd be very appreciative of that.
You're cuter than your pictures.
Thanks.
I also want to talk about Dale Song, who plays Gino Berlanti. Dale, like Gino, is Korean American, but that's where the similarities stop. He's not an adoptee, and he's very in touch with his cultural roots. He speaks fluent Korean and fluent Thai. And one fun fact about Dale is he originally auditioned for the role of Kevin. We saw the audition, he was great, but he's more of a Gino. You know, he's got that machismo and that swagger that Gino has, so we asked him to resubmit and read for the role of Gino, and he killed it.
Hey, do you want to stay for a drink?
I should go.
My treat. It's the least I can do. I've been in your situation before. The last thing you want to do is be alone, especially with your thoughts right now.
One moment that's always made me nervous is the sex scene because, you know, sex scenes are always intrinsically awkward. And during rehearsal, it was me, the director Stephen Liang, and our 2 actors at my house. I had always thought we were just going to choreograph the sex scene on set, but instead he wanted to choreograph it in my house. I have an IKEA couch that pulls out into a bed, And so I was like, well, here you go. And I pulled it out, and it just felt so wrong to be like, well, here's a bed. Why don't you two hotties choreograph this sex scene for me right here? My palms got a little sweaty, but it was okay. And we were very professional, but still, it made me nervous. People love the sex scene. I love the sex scene.
I want to kiss you.
You don't get to kiss me.
My favorite scene in the episode is when they're having Korean barbecue late at night and they discuss whether they should have hooked up in the first place. They have this really painful conversation and they're basically paying off the latent internal racism that's been underneath this whole time, and the revelation leaves them so vulnerable and raw. It's that vulnerability that ultimately brings them together and enables them to find each other.
You've been bringing me from place to place to make me feel better. But in fact, it's to make yourself feel better.
Another favorite moment is when they kiss at the end. You've been waiting for it the whole episode, you don't know how it's gonna pay off, and then you discover that through this whole ordeal, this walking and talking, through these fights they've been having, they've grown closer together, and Gino is ready to turn over a new leaf. Hi, I'm Stephen J Cong. I'm the writer of the Falling for Angels episode, Koreatown. Please watch it on Here TV.
There's this metamorphosis that happens when you're having sex, looking into someone's eyes that look like your own. Being with him, I knew that if I could love someone that looked like me, I could love myself.
Well, now you know why I wanted to kiss you.